Na mtazamaji, tunaendelea na maskani tukiwa ndani ya Sema na Citizen. Kama nilivyokuambia, ni siku ambayo ina matukio mengi makuu hapa nchini Kenya, na kwa hivi sasa tuelekee tena katika jengo la bunge, ambayo ile kamati maalum ambayo ilikuwa imetengwa kutathmini na kupiga msasa na kusikiza katika kitendawili kile cha waziri Mithika Linturi bado wanaendelea kusikiza upande wake. Kwa hiyo turudi tusikie kinachoendelea kwa sasa.
Or you had not read the motion against you?
He had not read.
So again, you're confronted by a witness who has not even read the allegations against you. But this gentleman was purporting to speak to some reports. Did he say he was the author or was not the author of those reports?
He said he was not the author.
This gentleman was called here supposedly as an expert on fertilizers. Was he able to present before this committee, to the best of your knowledge, any evidence that he is an expert on the chemical composition of fertilizer?
He did not produce any.
Okay, let's come to Sami Kiptum Birgen. I hope I'm not Honorable Cheruiyot massacring the name. Sami Kiptum Birgen. Did he say he had read or had not read the motion against you?
He had not read.
So again, Honorable Linturi, we have a witness coming here to persuade the select committee should be dismissed from office, but he has not even read the allegations against you. What do you have to say to that?
We can't take him to be serious.
We can't take him to be serious. Did this witness have any certificate of electronic evidence, to the best of your knowledge, that would be valid?
None.
None. Heavy weather yesterday was made about the poor and the vulnerable. Honorable Linturi, without trivializing the very unfortunate things that happened to some of our farmers, is the administration of justice supposed to be done based on economic or social status, or should the process be blind to status?
It should be blind to status.
Let's come to the testimony of Hosea Kipketer Ruto. Did Kipketer Ruto testify that he had read or had not read the motion against you?
He had not read.
What do you have to say to that? That the witness called to prove the allegations against you is not even aware of what the allegations are?
Probably he may have even been duped by the mover to come here when he really didn't know exactly what he was coming to do. So we can't take his evidence seriously.
We can't take his evidence seriously. So, Honorable Linturi, we have the mover of the motion. He was unable to point a specific act or omission on your part. And every witness is called and not even read the allegations against you. What do you say to that?
Of the committee, that's a clear demonstration of how trivial is really meant this matter by calling people who never knew exactly what they were coming to answer to. And this can be demonstrated by his absence in these proceedings today, because, you know, the story that we learned was about farmers' interests, the issues that we all and to listen to is presenting the country. So how his absence here in these proceedings also me form the opinion probably he was also not serious about this matter and must have been on a fishing expedition.
Honorable Linturi, you have attached a number of documents to your affidavit, and I want us to quickly run through them. Let's go to document under flyer number 2. What is this document, Honorable Linturi?
This is a charge sheet.
It's a charge sheet.
Yes.
Who is the accused person there?
Is Christine Nyambura Muturi.
Do you know that person?
I know this person to be one of the wives of Mheshimiwa Wamboka, who was married on the 15th of May 2023 in the United States, in Arizona. And they have 2 children that are surviving.
And what is she accused of?
Cheating.
According to this charge sheet?
Is cheating contrary to Section 315 of the Penal Code.
So, the Honorable Linturi, what do you have to say about this grad studying accuser of yours and the fact that in his own nuclear family there are accusations of this type?
Chair. Honorable TJ. Counsel, what are you leading to in your line of questioning? That specific area. What are you
Honorable Chair, the move of this motion has taken the posture of a gentleman who cares about our society, the public interest, the vulnerable. He is public-spirited. He is a bona fide man acting in good faith. Clearly, it must say something if he can't do charity at home. I'm trying to build basically the case which I'm allowed under the law to discredit the character of my client's accuser, but more importantly...
I get you, Chair. Just leave it there.
I hadn't finished, so there is another reason.
No, just a minute.
Yes.
You know, when we subject issues in public glare, the more we speak about them, the more we accentuate the defamation therein. In fact, just as the chair had guided you, you may think that you are vindicating and exonerating your clients, but the more you project and trumpet them, the more you increase the readership, the audience, which therefore, just defamation.
Again, I'm guided, Chair, like I said, I always agree with my senior. I wanted to skip senior, I'm guided.
No, the issue I want to drive at here, the charge sheet you have shown us is just a charge sheet. You know that there must be a conviction to carry the issues that you're talking about. And so if you don't have a conviction, would you be persuaded to leave that type of questioning for another day until there is...
I'm guided, so we don't need to spend more time on it. Just to say I was not
and accusation over accusation does not make anything right. You know, it really doesn't.
Honorable Linturi, let's go to the document at page 49 of your budget. 49 years. Yes. What is that document, sir?
Of National Cereals and Produce Board.
That's the organizational
Structure.
of what?
NCPB.
Is that the agency that was procuring the fertilizers in question?
Yes.
From that organizational structure, has the cabinet secretary been assigned any powers with regard to public procurement at NCPB?
No.
Let's go to the procurement department under that organizational structure at page 55 of the budget. Who is indicated as the topmost person on matters to do with procurement at the National Cereals and Produce Board?
It's the manager procurement.
Who is below them?
The deputy manager.
And there are, of course, several other people below them.
Yes.
Is the cabinet secretary indicated there as one of the people who have any duty or role or power on matters to do with procurement at NCPB?
No.
Let's go to page 63, sir. What is that document?
Is the application or invitation for tender, an advertisement to supply fertilizer.
Who has issued that advert in the middle?
The managing director, National Cereals and Produce Board.
The managing director.
Yeah.
Are you the managing director of NCPB?
No.
Okay. Let's go to page 64. What is that document, sir?
It's a clarification of the advert.
It's a
For the
clarification of the advert. Who has signed it at page 65?
The managing director, for managing director, I signed for the managing director.
Is this your signature?
No.
But back to page 64. Can you read for the select committee the words that are highlighted there?
Kindly note that the specifications published in the tender document was indicative. You are required to provide your specifications as per your formulation in line with the KEBS standards, upon which evaluation shall be based from both planting and top dressing fertilizers.
So the request was for fertilizer that complies with KEBS standards.
Yes.
Is that consistent with the accusation repeated 10 times in the motion
It is not
that there was
fake.
approval for procurement of fake fertilizer? Is it consistent or
It's
inconsistent?
not. Inconsistent.
Let's go to document number 3. What is that document, sir?
This is a decision of the Public Procurement and Administrative Review Board.
That is the court or tribunal that determines procurement disputes, isn't it?
Yes.
And who are the parties?
Aeon Kenya Insurance Brokers and Teachers Service Commission.
Now, I want us to go to one of the issues this tribunal resolved in that matter. When is the date of this decision? The date is on page 105.
20th February 2015.
It's like 9 years ago, right?
Yes, yes.
So the matter we are discussing was settled 9 years ago. Correct or incorrect?
Correct.
Now let's go to page 94. Please read to the tribunal the parts of that decision that are highlighted that is relevant to the inquiry before us.
The board therefore accepts the applicant's submission that the commissioners or any other officer or employee of the Just Service Commission were strangers to the procurement proceedings, and their decision to terminate their warrant of the tender made in favor of the applicant was therefore unlawful. Under the provisions of Section 26 of Section 4 of the Act, every procuring entity is required by law to establish a procuring unit, a tender evaluation / processing team, the tender committee, and such other bodies as are required by the regulations for the purposes of making decisions on behalf of the public entity as are specified in the Act and the regulations. Once such bodies have been established, it is only the said bodies which are empowered to undertake any tender process to the exclusion of everybody else.
Does this decision confirm the part 5 we read on segregation of responsibilities and structured corporate decision-making systems?
It does.
Let us go to your document number 4, sir. What is that document?
This is a survey report by the Central Bank of Kenya on the performance of the agriculture sector up to March 2024.
Is the Central Bank of Kenya a semi-autonomous agency?
It is.
Under which ministry does it fall?
Finance.
It falls under the
Treasury.
Ministry of Finance. Would I be right therefore to say you have no capacity to influence reports of this agency in your capacity as Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture?
You are right.
Would you call this agency of the Republic of Kenya a respected or a non-respected public agency?
Very respected.
Very highly respected. Would I be right, sir, to say this institution is respected not just locally but globally?
Yes.
Let's go to this report or survey report they wrote, page 110 of your Badu. Can you read on the second column of page 110 the words that are highlighted?
In this regard, a large share of respondents cited the continued positive impact of pump price reduction by EPRA and the government subsidized fertilizer initiative. The proportion of respondents who reported to have accessed the subsidized fertilizer increased significantly in March 2024 relative to the January 2024 survey. Most farmers rely on rain-fed agriculture, and the uptake in fertilizer intake in March 24 was a strategy to capitalize on the March-May 24 long rain season.
You know, Honorable Linturi, everywhere there has been made about poor, vulnerable farmers, and we are not trying to rubbish or in any way diminish the misfortune some farmers suffered. But isn't there also in this CBK report a positive story from the farmers?
Yeah.
Should this committee only consider the very unfortunate story which we acknowledge? Or should it also consider these positive stories recognized by none other than the Central Bank of the Republic of Kenya?
They shouldn't consider other stories, both.
Good. Let's go to page 111. Again, what does the Central Bank say? Their study revealed. It's highlighted there.
Most respondents attributed their optimism to the recent appreciation of the Kenya shilling, which they expect will be sustained. Expectations that the subsidized fertilizer initiative would continue and that the March-May 2024 long rain season would be favorable.
At page 106, what is the date of this report by CBK?
March 2024.
And on the motion before the assembly, rather before the committee, what is the date of the motion?
Let us check the actual date.
Here. On what date was the notice of the motion before us given?
24th April.
24th April.
Yes.
So, it will follow, therefore, that this CBK report is much older than the motion before us.
Correct.
It must also therefore follow that this CBK report cannot have been authored with this motion in mind.
It cannot.
Let's go to page 115.
Okay. Several farmers indicated that proper timing in issuance of subsidized fertilizer and the quality of fertilizer assessed were important factors that support increased acreage.
So again, without trivializing the misfortune some farmers suffered, is this a positive or negative story? What you just read?
Yes.
Is it positive or negative?
It is positive.
Good.
117.
Let's go to page 117. Again, can you read the highlighted part, sir?
Access to government subsidized fertilizer. The proportion of respondents who reported to have accessed government subsidized fertilizer increased substantially to 67% in March 2024 from 53% in January 2024 survey.
An increase of 67%.
Yeah.
Would that depict you as a successful cabinet secretary or the rogue cabinet secretary? The move of the motion would want the world to believe.
From my judgment, is a successful cabinet secretary.
Actually, a very successful cabinet secretary.
I was being modest.
Let's go to 121, page 121 of this document. Again, what does the Central Bank of the Republic of Kenya say?
Approximately 70% of sampled farmers reported to have benefited from the subsidized fertilizer, a key input in crop production.
So again, does that depict you, sir, as the clown the media has painted for 5 years? Or does it depict you as actually a competent and consummate cabinet secretary?
Contrary to what the media has, or picture that the media has created over years, this depicts me as hard-working and competent cabinet secretary.
As a matter of fact, Honorable Linturi, how were you ranked when you were MP for South Igembe?
I was ranked quite highly, and I think the audit reports can really demonstrate that. And at no single time did I attract any audit query. At no single time did I not absorb my budget within the year.
Let's go to page 131. What is this document and why have you placed it before the committee?
This is just to prove or to demonstrate to the committee that I've been a victim of an organized campaign by the media and other financiers to malign my name, and this is the story I made reference to that was carried by the Star newspaper purporting that I'd been arrested together with my deputy, with my permanent secretary.
When did this happen, Honorable Linturi?
This story, the exact date, this is last week. It's the same last week, Thursday or Friday, thereabouts.
It says in the caption there, DPP orders arrest of agriculture CS Mithika Linturi, PS Paul Rono of alleged fake fertilizer saga.
Yes.
To the best of your knowledge, has the DPP ever ordered your arrest or that of your peers?
No.
Has the Star ever apologized to you or to the peers for this fake news?
They have never, and at no time that they've ever written a positive story about me.
Again, is the Star one of the big newspapers in this republic?
Yes, it is.
Let's go to the document at page 132. What is that document, sir?
This is a decision of the Supreme Court of Kenya on the Mike Mbuvi Sonko case.
Yes. Now, I want you to take the committee to page 189 of the Bedu, paragraph 149 of that decision.
Page 189, paragraph
149.
Do I continue?
Please read paragraph 149.
As to the standard of proof in impeachment charges, the Court of Appeal, in its judgment in Martin Nyaga Wambora and 3 others versus the Speaker of the Senate and 6 others, Civil Appeal number 21 of 2014, found that to impeach a governor requires a high threshold, but that standard is neither beyond reasonable doubt nor on a balance of probability. Noting that the threshold for removal of a governor involves gross violation of the Constitution, we hold that the standard of proof required for removal of governor is above a balance of probability, but below reasonable doubt.
To the best of your knowledge, sir, would this standard of proof be met when all the witnesses said they are not even aware what you're accused of?
It will not be met.
Would it be met when the mover added cross-examination instead of pointing to the alleged approval, kept debating the motion?
It will not be met.
Okay, let's go to page 190. Next page.
Injunction by senior counsel.
Yes, I will explain myself to different from objecting to anything. Partly because when I do object, you say to me that look, wait until your time for cross-examination.
Could we stop the clock, Honorable Chair?
Now, we have a witness.
Senior counsel, I confirmed to you that our team is
Yes, the witness being asked about standard of proof. Should he really be asked? Is that not something my learned friend can comment on when he's making submissions?
Honorable Chair, again I seek your protection. I have a job to do, and there is no rule I have breached. So let me just be allowed without interjection, because I keep saying, you know, the Honorable Camino is almost my grandfather, and I've really resisted having to have an altercation, because in Meru, where I come from, you don't have an altercation with your seniors, whether they are right or they are wrong. That's the rule in Meru. They are your seniors, they are your elders, but also elders have to also exercise restraint of some sort.
But Chair, Presiding Chair.
Honorable TJ.
I think that is the precise reason why you should accept wisdom from your grandfather. on issues of law. Whereas
he's not just my grandfather, he's a partisan player because he has a client he's representing, and I represent the adversary. If it were just an exchange between a grandfather and grandson, on this one, he is a partisan counsel, just like I'm partisan counsel, and that's why I'm saying, why can't I just be
yeah, but just listen to me. The wisdom from the patriarch is that you need not cross-examine or lead evidence on opinion on law, because your client that is not here to lead evidence on value judgment on law. We will see them in submissions. You will make submissions on them. And whereas it is very appropriate for you to bring them to our attention, we also want to save time. And so things which will come before us as submissions and judgments which we can make decisions on, you probably can save time. I think that's the wisdom. That's the wisdom from the old man.
Today I'm not in any quarrelsome mood, and like I've told you, I also always usually agree with my senior on the other side, so let's move on.
Chair, if you allow me, yesterday, not anyone else other than the Vice Chair did mention that this matter is more of a political process. And being or having been in politics for some time, I'm being tried in the public court. And there is also need, and that is why these proceedings are not in camera, for me to also get an opportunity when an opportunity arises to respond to the story that the public has been given. And it is true, whatever happened here yesterday was clearly playing to the gallery. Without that opportunity to explain to the public, I think prejudices me when it comes to issues of how we relate with my colleagues out there, with the public out there, because I was unable to protect.
Council, proceed.
Honorable Linturi, let's go to the document number 10. At page 252 of your budget. Please, can you explain to the Honorable Select Committee what this document is and why you have placed it before the committee?
This is a letter addressed to me by the DCI in regard to a number of complaints that they were investigating. Reference was made in the motion in regard to my imminent arrest by DCI, and this matter or this letter explains that the cases that were being referred to are cases that were investigated by the DCI. The referral was forwarded to the DPP, and the DPP directed that the files be closed and with no further action. And if, for whatever word it is, one of these cases, I was the complainant, and in that Justice Ongundi judgment, if you go through it, one and I ended up being the victim. I was the complainant, I was the victim, but at the end of the day, I was one to be charged, so that you understand what kind of games were there at that time.
So, Honorable Linturi, we have a motion before this committee that says there are serious reasons for believing you have committed a crime. And we have a letter from DCI confirming that those matters were closed. What is your comment?
You know, that allegations should fall flat, because we have demonstrated to the committee that he did what was said in the motion is not correct.
Let's go to the document number 11. What is that document? And why have you placed it before this honorable committee?
This is a judgment of the court in my favor.
Can you read for us at page 261, the highlighted part?
I think this is what Justice Majanja said, that the first defendant's claim, the first defendant's counterclaim is allowed on terms that the judgment is entered for the first defendant against the plaintiff, second, third, and fourth defendants jointly and severally for the sum of 21,846,607 with interest at the court rates from the date of filing suit until payment in full. I am the first defendant in this matter.
So, Honorable Linturi, this judgment relates to one of the alleged acts of forgery and whatnot against you. And the judge ruled in your favor and even awarded you 21 million shillings. Did the media publicize this victory on your part the way it had been publicized in the allegations against you?
They've never.
Good. Let's go to the document at page 263. Why have you placed it before this committee?
This is also a ruling in my favor on a matter that involves the occupation and ownership of my house in Runda.
Again, Honorable Linturi, 5 years of negative media publicity about that house. The court has ruled in your favor. Did the media publicize this victory on your part?
They can't.
So the public is still stuck with the image that there was a claim about your house, but they are never told the other side when you win.
They are happy to do that. When we win, we have no access to publicity, and if there has to be there, then you must pay for it.
Let's go to page 278. What is that document?
This is also another. There's a judge. There's an order from the Court of Appeal.
How many judges of the Court of Appeal have made that order?
There are three.
Three judges of the Court of Appeal issued an order in your favor.
Yes.
Did the media publicize this victory?
They did not.
So again, the public is left with the image of Linturi, the bad guy. Never mind, the Court of Appeal has vindicated him.
Yes.
Let's go to the document at page 287. What is it and why have you placed it here?
This is also another judgment.
From which court?
From the Chief Magistrate's Court in Nairobi, and the judgment relates to the much publicized divorce that never was, and again the magistrate ruled in my favor, and the same was never told to the public.
So again, the magistrate has ruled in your favor. The picture painted to the world for 5 years is of a rogue Linturi.
Yes, and I wish today they are televising live, because this is the opportunity probably I may have.
Let's go to page 306. What is that document?
The issue we have here is of fake fertilizer. We are spending a lot of time on love matters. We are spending a lot of time on media. Can you give some guidance really of how...
Honorable Chair, let them withdraw ground number 2. Our work will be very easy. They can have it both ways.
Chair.
Thank
Chair.
you. Honorable Malulu.
Yeah. I would like you to restrain our senior counsel, because they're the ones who raised these issues. You can see even the client is pleading that he should also have time for this to be clarified, because yesterday when they were prosecuting this, it was also on the media, live. So when it comes to him now responding, why does he want him not to respond?
Okay, you have made your point, Honorable Member. Honorable Jane, then
Chair.
Honorable Manyo.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I think it is very unfortunate that the presenter of the motion or the mover of the motion invited us to listen to this kind of information. And you see, it is common knowledge that the issue at hand is the issue of fake fertilizer and the nexus between the fake fertilizer and the CS. But unfortunately, we were presented with a motion that is laced with information on past love affairs and other matters. And as unfortunate as it is, we were invited to that information, and unfortunately the parties have to deal with it.
Thank you, Honorable Manyo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Although we are listening to the CS side, the person being mentioned is not here to defend herself. That's why we are finding it difficult. We cannot listen to one side of the spectrum, and the other side of the spectrum is nowhere. So if we must dwell on this matter, and it's very important, then let Lady Honorable Mary Ann, the ex of the CS, come to defend herself. Otherwise, we are just listening to rhetorics.
Thank you, Honorable Omanyo. You have made your point. Honorable
Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson. Unfortunately, what we are dealing with, as far as this testimony is concerned, are court cases. Those court cases were introduced by the mover of the motion. So surely the respondent has every right to comment on each of those cases. When the mover introduced the cases,